Hi everybody, how you all doing? Hope everybody is okay. This is video 3, I know, video 3 of my top 10 horror movies of all time. If you haven't seen the first 2 videos, go and see them. The first video was the sort of horror movies that I like but didn't make it into the top 10. If I start coughing uncontrollably, it's because these DVDs are quite dusty. Bit like now. For you, it might be about 4 or 5 days since you last saw the first video. For me, this is like 10-15 minutes after I just made the second video. Yes, the top's different. The t-shirt's not. I only put this on because it's blimmin' flipping cold in here, and I'm sorry, but it's about 11:30 in the morning, and I'm damned if I'm going to put the gas on, the heating on, and give the gas company any more money than I need to give them. Bunch of money grabbing rip-off merchants. Anyway, so the first, sorry, the first video explained to you all of the, there's a very, very close also rounds, okay, and if you haven't seen that video yet, go and see that video because it will also explain quite a lot about what goes on this video. I will warn you, I've had a cup of coffee. Yes, it was a couple of hours ago, but the very fast it goes on, I'm still a bit hyper. So yeah, so in the second video, I showed you horror movies 10 to 8, and that was American Werewolf in London. Yeah. Nosferatu, and I cheated a bit on number 8, Bad Taste, and Brain Dead, also known as Dead Alive in the US, in America. So that was numbers 10, 9 and 8. 10, 9 and 8. Like I said, sorry, itchy nose now. I said very dusty. Like I said, in these, in the 10 to 6, there's no real. They're all as equally good to me. It's from number 5 onwards that they really get into the. This is my 5th favourite. This is my 4th, my 3rd. I did say in the second video that this is probably going to be 3 videos, but the way I'm going at the moment, it looks like it might be 4. Okay, when I start talking about this stuff, if you've seen any of my comic book videos in any case, and the live unbaggings as well, when I start talking about stuff I like, I talk about it. Okay, and because there's nobody else here to stop me, you're going to have to sit here and watch it. The only thing that's going to stop you from hearing me go on about it is pressing the stop button, which I hope you don't. Okay. Excuse me. So yeah, as with the last couple of videos, 3 warnings. 1, ADHD and coffee do not mix. So if I go on a tangent, I apologise. 2, this has got nothing to do with comic books. This is horror movies. If you want anybody to blame, blame Comic Buyer, because he asked me what my top 10 favourite horror movies were. Only joking, Comic Buyer. Honestly, seriously, I'm only joking. Right. So this is going to be a video mainly for my favourite horror movies from number 7, 6 and 5. Okay. Before I get into them, I just wanted to bring to your attention a couple of things that I have here, horror movie wise. In 2009, 2010, I think it was, there was a documentary brought out on DVD. Stare my hair again. Called Video Nasties: The Definitive Guide. There you go. If you like horror movies, if you like any kind of horror movies, this is something that really you need to find, to get your hands on. It only come out in a limited edition, a limited amount of videos, of cassettes, discs even. Sorry. This is number 526. You can see that there. Number 526. Sadly, I got this off of eBay. The case is broken. I knew the case was broken, but I just wanted to get this because it is just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's all about video nasties in the UK in early 1980s. There was a bunch of busybodies that said that there was a certain amount of movies that needed to be banned, because they were just vulgar and disgusting and lewd and lascivious and all such horrible nasty things. How could they do things like this? And won't somebody please think of the children, you know? And this was at the height of VHS video recorders. If anybody's out here who was born in the 90s and you don't know what a VHS video recorder is, ask your mum and dad or your gran and granddad and they'll tell you. And I'm going to completely screw up and even say Betamax as well. So there you go. So yeah, so this is a documentary. There's 3 discs in this. The first disc goes on about the video nasties and the absolute moral outcry and panic and the stupidity of people in this country of that time. And not being funny, but even nowadays with video games, you still get idiots who will sit there and go, "Oh, the video games are so terrible. Oh, the video games are so terrible. Oh, how can you let children play video games?" Well, I'm not being funny, but if you've got kids and you let them play video games that have people getting hacked to pieces by chainsaws or driving around in cars, then you're the parent. You know, use a bit of common sense. You know, sorry. That's just my viewpoint on it. The same with video nasties as well. Seeing there was a group of people. Mary Whitehouse was the main one. She was. I would probably liken her to either. I would probably liken her to Mussolini in drag. Really. My own personal opinion on. And I use that for the legality of it all. My own personal opinion on Mary Whitehouse was that she was a fascist. If she didn't like it and she didn't want people to see it, nobody should be allowed to have seen it. How dare they even think about seeing it if she didn't want to see it? Some people might know her personally and might think completely different. But from what I have seen and I've read about her, and I've never met the woman myself personally, I will say that, and again for legal reasons only, my opinion on Mary Whitehouse was she was a complete fascist. Okay, when it comes to everything, all right, she was one of these people that had nothing better to do than complain, but she was the uber complainer of everything. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, this box set is absolutely brilliant. 3 discs. Comes with this is what really made it limited edition. It comes with these postcards or postcards of and I'll there you go, zombie flesh eaters, which we'll get to in a moment. Nightmare in a Damaged Brain. Brilliant film. And the funny thing is with the video nasties, I Spit on Your Grave, which had just recently been remade, poorly. I must hasten to add. Driller Killer, which was one of the main reasons why video nasties come about, and another one which actually got the director into trouble and come to a court case in Italy, I believe, Cannibal Holocaust. Okay, and this, which is The Art of Nasty, which leads me beautifully into a segue for I call this my Bible on video nasties. I love video nasties. I don't know if it's because they were banned and they've got their slight taboo thing about them or whatever, but yeah, this is a book that come out in somewhen in the late 90s, early 2000s. And it's got every single video nasty in it, including the ones that were properly banned and classed as video nasties, the ones that were contested in court and got away, but they ended up getting cut by the BBFC, which is the British Broadcasting Film Censors Board, which nowadays aren't that bad. Beforehand, although if you want it in a comic book way, they were like the CAC, the Comic Authority Code, you know. And if you want a comic book analogy for Mary Whitehouse, she was like Frederick Wortham, Mr. Frederick Wortham, who I refuse to call Dr. Frederick Wortham because, quite frankly, I think he got his doctorate from the back of a cornflakes box from what I've read of his book of Seduction of the Innocent. Prat. And again, my opinion of Frederick Wortham is similar to Mary Whitehouse, and he basically, from what I've read and seen, he basically turned a lot of people in America into book burners, really, which I think is some of the worst. It's one of the worst things that you could have done with the comic books in those days. There must be so many comics that collectors now are missing out on seeing because of Frederick Wortham. If he was here right now, I'd punch him right in his nose. But again, I digress. But yeah, this is The Art of Nasty, which is, like I said, my Bible for video nasties. And it has got everything in here. It's literally got everything in here, from video nasties, the actual video nasties, Anthropophagus the Beast, Absurd, the Californian Axe Murders, Deep River Savages, Death Trap, Gestapo, Death Island, Don't Go in the Woods Alone, all the way through to the Elsa movies, the sort of like German Nazi porn, sort of like Elsa movies. They weren't actually porn, but they were, I suppose you could call them grindhouse movies of the 70s and 80s. Poor white trash. All these movies. I'll tell you. I'll show you how stupid, right, things were in the early 80s with this whole video nasty thing. There was a case where all around the UK, and I'll quickly go on this. If you want to know more about video nasties, let me know, and I'll see if I can do a video on them. Okay, because I love video nasties. Yeah, but this is how stupid it was, right? There was video shops around the UK, around Britain, were just getting busted by the police. They're just getting raided and having videos taken off the shelves, right? There was a movie which had Dusty Springfield and Burt Reynolds in it, called the Prettiest Little Whorehouse in the West, I think, or something like that, or something like that title. I might be paraphrasing it. That actually got seized in one video shop by the police, by the British Constabulary, by the British police, because they thought it was a porno. A porno with, was it not Dusty Springfield? Not Dusty Springfield. It had Burt Reynolds in it. It didn't have Dusty Springfield. Sorry, no, not Dusty Springfield. The country and western singer, female country and western singer, whose name I have forgotten. But anyway, it was a movie called something like The Prettiest Little Whorehouse in the West, and it got seized because they thought it was a porno. That's how ridiculous, and that's how dumb and moronic it got in this country in that time. because of people like Mary Whitehouse, who didn't even watch the movies, didn't even see the movies. Like I said, if you want me to go into this, I've been talking about this for 15 minutes now. If you want me to go into this more, I will go into it more, and I will do a video on video nasties, okay, and the history of the video nasty. I mean, that's two things anyway that if you're in the horror films and that, you might be interested to see if you can pick up. Okay, right, now what you've actually come here for is to see me go on and on about my next 3 of my top 10 favourite horror movies of all time. Right, you had 10, 9 and 8 in the last video. Number 7, and number 7, possibly one of the videos with the most names I think I've ever seen a movie have. And I'll go into that in a sec. It is a movie, and it's the reason why, if you saw the last video, the movie The Beyond was just pushed out of the top 10. It's a movie by Lucio Fulci, who is an Italian director, and I'm sure I've pronounced his name wrong. I always pronounce everybody's name wrong. And it's known by many names, many names. The 2 names I know it by is Zombie Flesh Eaters and Zombie 2. Okay, it was originally an unofficial sequel to Night of the Living Dead. Okay, I've got up on here a list of the names that this movie was known as. Right, you have it also known as Zombie 2, Zombie Flesh Eaters, Zombie, Island of the Flesh Eaters, Island of the Living Dead, Sanguilia, that's more in the Japanese countries and that, Voodoo, Zombie 2 Voodoo, Zombie number 2, Zombies, and the list goes on and on of the different names that, I mean, okay, a lot of them are translations of zombie and all this, but the amount of names this movie had is just incredible. It's just amazing. I'll give you a quick premise of the movie. A boat turns up on the shores of New York, Manhattan Island, and it's completely empty. All for somebody who is a living dead person, a zombie. The police shoot him. He falls overboard, and they think that's the end of it. The boat belongs to this guy who's gone to this island, who is investigator, who is a doctor, and he's trying to find out how to reanimate the dead, but really to help people. Now his daughter gets involved with this, because this boat has his daughter, this guy's boat, so his daughter gets involved, and her and a group of people go to this island to see what's happened to her father. When they get there, they find her father there, but he turns around and says, "You should never have come to this island. This is evil. This island's evil, and you've damned yourself." And slowly but surely, the dead start coming back to life and gorging on the flesh of the living. This is one of the best. In some ways, it's corny, and yes, if you watch it now, it is a little bit dated. But this is one of the best zombie movies I think I've seen ever. One of the best. I mean, obviously there's a couple that are going to be later on in the videos. not only do you have Fulci's brilliant cinematography, he understood the camera. He knew how to make things, look grotesque and horrible and vile. Um, but you also had a brilliant, absolute brilliant score. And you'll have to excuse me because I'm going to um, have to quickly look on the screen for this. um, Fabio Frizzi uh, and Giorgio Cassio, uh, and uncredited was Adriano Giordanelli or Giordanella and Maurizio Guani. Go Google it. Go Google Zombie 2. They're there in Wikipedia. Okay, those two guys are uncredited. All right, I'm gonna I'm gonna mangle somebody's name up if I can't pronounce it. Their musical score for this is just so eerie. It is. Oh, Google this on YouTube and listen to the musical score if you can, because it's such the strings and the electronic music that they use on it. It's just so eerie. I don't know if it's the notes they use or anything like that, but it just puts you on edge. And even I've seen this movie loads of times, and even now, I know what's going to happen. It's not really scary to me. I like it for the cinematography and the not even really much for the story, but for the cinematography and that. But there's something about the music, the music score, the score on it is just so eerie and it just gets to you. And yeah, that's why this is number 7 on my list of top 10 horror movies of all time. Uh, so yeah, and number 6 of my top 10 horror movies of all time is a movie. I would have to say by one of the finest directors um, of the modern era. Uh, what he has done with horror films and fantasy films is just amazing. He, to me, he understands how to use a camera. He understands. He's a very gothic um, director. Every movie he does, you can tell he's had something to do with it. And this movie is one of his first movies. It actually one of his first proper movies that actually got released. Um, he is directing the new movie Pacific Rim. He also directed Blade 2, which I think is one of the best Blades ever. He also directed Hellboy 1 and 2, and I'm sure as I'm saying this now, you'll know who I'm talking about. He directed The Devil's Backbone and Pan's Labyrinth, and it is Guillermo del Toro's Kronos. This is a fantastic and absolutely fine piece of cinematography, and it is a really nice twist and a really nice take on the vampire mythos. Uh, it all starts with um, a house that gets destroyed, and inside they find a dead body, and attached to the dead body is this like clockwork scarab which is attached to the body. The clockwork scarab comes into the possession of a clockmaker who is wonderfully played by Argentinian actor Federico Lupi. And it does have subtitles in it, but it's mainly in English. And he plays this clockmaker who he gets in possession to it, and he's looking at it. He's trying to figure out what it is, and as he's tinkering with it, it attaches itself to his hand. He manages to get it off, but he finds that when he wakes up the next morning, he's rejuvenated. He's not old anymore. He's gotten a bit younger. So he thinks that he figures out that it must be this clockwork scarab that's somehow managed to make him younger. So he then attaches it to his chest, because who doesn't want to be young? You know, who doesn't want to be young again? But as the movie progresses, he finds out that there's a price to pay for youthfulness and longevity and having his youth back. He has a thirst for blood. He needs to drink blood. He wakes up in the middle of the night and he's just hungry. He's so hungry. He goes to his fridge. He drinks water, he drinks orange juice, he drinks milk. Nothing quenches his thirst. He's eating food in the fridge all over the place, and then he comes to a plate of liver, raw liver, and it's just sitting there, and he looks at it, and it's almost as if he's looking at the most wonderful dish in the world, and he eats that, and that's when he realizes whilst he's wearing this clockwork scarab on his chest, he needs to have blood to keep himself young. As all this is happening, a rich man who is very close to death finds out that the clockmaker has got this scarab, and he wants the scarab for himself. So he sends his henchman, who is brilliantly played by Ron Perlman, who is, I think, one of the most underrated actors ever. Quite frankly, to get the scarab from the clockmaker, and it is a, for all intents and purposes, it is a cautionary tale of be careful what you wish for. You know, the clockmaker's getting on in age. His hands aren't as youthful as they were. He can't mend the clocks as well as he could, and this scarab comes along. He wishes he was young again so he could carry on doing what he loved doing, which was mending clocks. This scarab comes along, it makes him young again. He can do what he used to do when he was 50 years younger, and be able to do something. He looks younger, but it comes with a price, and as with most wishes that are fulfilled, some of them do come with a price. Cronos is just one of those movies that I fell in love with immediately as soon as I saw it. It is just a wonderful piece of horror movie, and if you haven't seen it and you like Guillermo del Toro directing, really you need to watch it. If you like Del Toro's directing in the movies, you've probably seen it in any case, but it is such a really lovely, beautiful movie. Yeah, so that's what's that, number 6, isn't it? And what time is it? Where are we? 28 minutes. I should try and be quick with this next one. Number 5 in my top 10 movies. I've only got this in this box set. And again, it's sort of cheating on this one, because there's 2 movies I've really got to have at number 5, and it is a zombie movie. It is a zombie movie, and it is George A. Romero's Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. And I don't know what I can say about this movie that other people haven't already said. Night of the Living Dead, again, to me, was a game changer for the horror genre and the zombie genre in a whole. The best line is at the beginning, where you've got a brother and a sister and they're visiting their grandmother's grave. The sister doesn't really want to be there, so she's a bit dubious about it, and the brother starts teasing her, saying that, oh, the dead's coming to get you, oh, they're coming to get you. And then they see this man shuffling along in the graveyard, and her brother goes, look, Barbara, they're coming to get you. Look, Barbara, there's one now. Unbeknownst to him, he's actually a zombie, and it escalates from there to an ending that is just, it just rips you apart. You've been with these characters. You've been with the main character Barbara, and all the people that she encounters as she's trying to save herself from the zombie invasion. And it just, it is a pivotal movie in the zombie genre, if you ask me. It is, it is of its time, but I think it's still a valid film today, as it was back then in the 60s when it first came out. And again, Romero is one of those people that, at least back then, he understood the way the camera worked and how to get people on the edge of their seats with, you know, how he wanted to get things across. I've seen the movie City of the Dead, which I believe was directed by Romero as well, which to me really didn't really sort of like gel with me that much as the first two the Living Dead movies that he did. The other movie on this is Dawn of the Dead. We all know the whole premise of the movie is consumerism. The fact that we are all zombies trudging around our local shopping centres and that, and we are basically consuming all we can get our hands on, and you know, blindly doing it and brainlessly doing it, really, if you want for that sort of thing. But again, the movie was such a big part of my loving of horror films for me. I'll tell you one really funny thing. I never used to like zombie movies. I used to absolutely detest zombie movies. I couldn't watch them. I don't know what it was, whether it was the gore that you had with the people being ripped apart and being eaten by other people. Excuse me. Or what it was that really turned me off of zombie movies. I never used to watch them. It's only in the last 10-15 years that I've actually been able to watch zombie horror movies. And these two are just two of the best. I mean, Zombie 2 is a brilliant zombie movie, but Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead are two of the best ever. If you've never seen a zombie movie and you want to see a zombie movie, the original Dawn of the Dead, the original Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead, go see them, because they are wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Right, I'm gonna stop this video now because it's getting up to the 35-minute mark, and I'm trying to get it to 30 minutes now. Keep it around that time. Again, if you like this video, if you have any comments on this video, comment section down below. If you want to put your top 10 horror movies or top 10 movies, science fiction, fantasy, comedy, any top 10 movies that you like, put them in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what your favourite movies are. I am sure that I've done some videos in between these videos, these horror movie videos that I've done. So I will say thank you to anybody who subscribed. I don't know if I've gotten up to 300 yet by the time I've put this video up. I might have done, and you might have already seen my video for the celebration of my 300th subscriber. Yeah. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If I haven't got to 300 by now, wait until I put it up. Okay, if you want to see somebody embarrass themselves, see the video. Okay. Yeah, if you like the video, thumbs it up. Thank you very much. If you didn't like the video or you thumbs it down, feel free to thumbs it down. But say why you thumbs it down. Don't let me send a pack of my zombies over to your place to get you. Because seriously, you don't want to get bitten by a zombie. It's not nice. Yeah. Again, you will see me wearing exactly the same clothing because for me it's only going to be about 10-15 minutes. And I will it will be the end. It will be the part 4 of my top 10 horror movies of all time. Okay? Probably. Thanks for watching. Take care. Ta-ta for now.